G'day everyone, it's Ashton Sims here from the Warrington Wolves, and this is my 5 toughest opponents. My number 5 is Petro Sivanasiva. Petro, he's an absolute icon in Australia and especially in Fiji. He was one of the toughest guys I ever played against. I played against him early 2000s, and then I played with him in the World Cup in 2013 at the age of 35 or 36, and he hadn't missed a beat in 10 years. One of my fondest memories of Petro, I remember making my debut year 2003, and we just scored a try. And I was an 18-year-old front rower standing on the dead ball line. I looked up, and there was Brad Thorne, Shane Webke, Petro Sivanasiva, Tony Carroll. I think Corey Parker was on the other side, and then Scotty Prince was there as well. And I thought to myself, well, I'm an absolute idiot if I don't run at little Scotty Prince. And so I started running at him, and all of a sudden I saw this big white wristband clotheslining me from the side. So I love Petro to bits. He's one of the best blokes you'll ever meet, and he's certainly there on my list. Number 4, I'd have to say Gordon Tallis. That's that same game, he was just an animal on and off the pitch. He carried himself so well. He was the leader of the Broncos there for a long time, and I just think he was, if anything, he always had the back of his teammates. And being an opponent, he used to go for the so-called hardest, forward in our forward pack, and he used to just rip us to bits. So, I definitely reckon Gordon Tallis is up there in my top 5. Number 3, I'm going to go with the back. I can't believe I'm going with the back, but Greg Inglis, man, I've never seen a guy built so big and so powerful. He makes rugby league look so easy, and he's got all the skills in the world, and he's bigger than a hall stairs and landing. So good. It's like putting a jersey on a semi-trailer trying to stop him. And, he's one of the best. He's one of the best centres that's ever played this game, in my opinion. And I'm just so lucky that I got to play against him. And he's definitely number 3 on my list. Number 2, this was an easy one. I could have picked him number 1, but it's Big Moz, Adrian Morley. Everyone. I know a lot of young people now sort of say Adrian Morley was a childhood idol growing up, and rightly so. But I got to see him in the teeth, in the brass of it, and I've never really been intimidated on a pitch until I come up against the Roosters on Anzac Day in 2004, I think it was. And he was just running right. He was at the peak of his powers, in my opinion. Back then, he was in the peak of his powers, and he was just so fierce and so ruthless. I remember him and Gordon Tallis, a couple of weeks or a month or so before on Friday night football, just ripping each other to shreds, and everyone was just going, this Morley guy, he's just unbelievable. And then I've got the chance to meet him, and happy to be mates with him now. And I just think if there's a model rugby league player that you want to mould yourself on, certainly him, and Jamie, guys like him, Jamie Peacock, Petro Sivanasiva, Shane Webke, they're the guys that you want to model themselves on. There's no BS about them. They'll call a spade, and that's the real front rower in my eyes. And the last one, I could have put him anywhere, and I thought I'd have to. I've played so many good players in the Super League since I've been here. You got Sean, special mention to guys like Sean O'Loughlin, and the guys like that. Obviously Gaz Ellis, Scott Taylor. They've been some really tough opponents, but I've gone for Kyle Amor. We've had a couple of run-ins in the last 3 years, but we always leave it out there on the pitch. Always have a good shake of hands after the game, and I put him up there. As just a real good, real tough, no nonsense front rower, and I've really enjoyed playing against him. And we've had some good battles in it with us and Saints, Warrington and Saints over the time, and Big Al Walmsley as well. He's tough as all. He's a great player. Runs hard from carry 1 to carry 20 per game, and I've got big time respect for both of them up there at Saints. And but Kyle, we've always had good respect with each other, and I think he's a top player.